Hello, and welcome to our video on the reforms to rent increases. One of the biggest changes landlords need to understand under the Renters' Rights Act is how the first-tier tribunal process for rent increases is changing. Previously, if a tenant challenged a rent increase through the tribunal, the judge had the power to agree with the proposed increase, reduce the proposed increase, or in some cases even increase the rent beyond the figure originally proposed. If the tribunal agreed with the rent increase, the increase could also be backdated to the date the original legal notice was served. However, under the new system, that process is changing significantly. The tribunal will no longer be able to increase the rent above the amount originally proposed by the landlord. There will also no longer be backdating of the rent increase to the date the legal notice was issued. In addition to that, the tribunal may now delay the start date of the rent increase by up to a further 3 months in certain circumstances. Another important change landlords need to be aware of is the timing of future rent increases. So under the new system, the date you can issue another rent increase will effectively run from the tribunal determination date rather than from the original date the legal notice was served. This means that if a rent increase is challenged, the timeline for future rent reviews can potentially be pushed back significantly. Combined with the relatively low tribunal application fee for tenants, this is one of the reasons many within the industry expect tribunal challenges to increase under the new legislation. That's why proper market evidence, accurate documentation, and realistic pricing are becoming more important than ever. As agents, we're preparing for this by reviewing rent increase procedures, ensuring notices are served correctly, keeping detailed written records, and investing in systems that allow us to gather market evidence from Rightmove, Zoopla, and other portals to help justify rental values. Another important benefit for landlords with our Rent Protect and Legal Expenses service is additional protection during rent increase disputes. Under the new system, if a tenant challenges a rent increase through the first-tier tribunal, there can now be significant delays before a final determination is made. However, where landlords hold a qualifying rent protect policy with us and we have conducted the rent increase process on your behalf, the policy can help provide additional protection. If the tenant formally challenges the rent increase through the tribunal process, the policy can cover the difference between the existing rent and the proposed increased rent until the tribunal reaches its final decision, subject to the policy terms and conditions. This helps reduce the financial impact of delays during the tribunal process and gives landlords additional reassurance while the case is being determined. The reality is that rent reviews are becoming far more evidence-led and compliance-focused than they have been historically. As always, if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to get in contact with us.